Welcome to Saddle Up Live, a transformative podcast tailored for women aged 40 and beyond, where courage, God's grace, and a touch of sass are the driving forces behind conquering life's challenges. Join me, Lesa, as I take you on a captivating ride through the multifaceted aspects of womanhood in this vibrant stage of life, covering everything from my journey through breast cancer, the intricacies of marriage, and the joys of motherhood, to the exciting adventures of grandparenting. Together, we will uncover actionable strategies for personal and professional development, providing you with the tools and inspiration needed to blaze new trails and seize every opportunity that comes your way, no matter what your age or stage.
Welcome, listeners, to Saddle Up Live. I'm super excited for you to meet Michelle Leisen. This is the woman who came in and rode her white horse and helped me out when I was going through a really hard time. And the thing that was so amazing about Michelle, I didn't even really know her that well. I knew that she had gone to law school, was a financial analyst or planner. She's going to clarify that when we talk. And I knew that she did mediations because she took my course, which I loved, to become a better mediator. So I knew that, and I knew her style. I reached out to her when I think I had like 5 or 6 clients that I was working on when they caught that breast cancer at stage 1. And even though it was early, it was a lot to go through, and I needed someone to come in. And Michelle, I mean, like a saint. I can't even, she came in, she didn't get paid. She swooped in and finished up all those clients beautifully. And now we work together. I mean, that's what I love. I love that. But what's so fun is Michelle was on Doing Divorce Different. And I feel like through this podcast, I get to know Michelle a little bit better because things have been so crazy that I didn't even really get to know aspects of her. And she's so cute. She's a little guarded because she went through a really hard divorce, which I get. And so we're not going to talk about anything uncomfortable, but I want you to be empowered by Michelle because she went through something really hard and has turned your life around. And she's so positive and so giving. And I always know, and I've learned this from Tony Robbins, it's the people that give that are the most successful in my mind. And that's why I just see her world opening up to her because she is so willing to give. So if you want to hear more about her advice on if you're going through a divorce, go to Doing Divorce Different. Today, I just want to talk to Michelle a little bit about how she kind of made it through something really hard. And I'm telling you, I had no idea. I just found out that Michelle's divorce was over $120,000 total. So that's why Michelle and I do the work we do. So Michelle, welcome. Say hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Saddle Up Live.
Thank
So
you.
can you share your story a little bit about so your divorce was over several years. I know that. What was it like up until that point? I mean, I'm sure the decision was hard because I know you were someone that thinks really highly of marriage because we've talked about that. And listeners, you know that I say, I mean, like for 3 months, put everything you can into the marriage, into that person. Work on yourself because a lot of times if you work on yourself, the other person magically changes.
Yep.
But not always. And in Michelle's case, that wasn't the case. So you needed to go through this. And I think that Michelle, like all of us, she was probably her main concern was her kids. I don't know, was it finances too? Mine would be finances and kids. So can you just tell us a little bit about that to help us see how you went through something hard and your life blossomed?
Thank you. So I would say going through the process, At the time, you feel stuck. At the time, you think, should I stay together for the kid? Should we be together for that reason? And it doesn't feel like it at the time, but you're actually doing your kids a disservice by just staying together for the kids.
Yeah.
They see you better. And, my ex-husband is better in his life now. I'm better in my life now. My kids are better in their life now. And I think it's important to see that, yes, it's hard, but you will get through it. And your kids are resilient and they see the new you, so to speak, and they see how you work through hard times. And it's
Mhm.
kind of inspiring in a way to have your kids, to have people around you see how you morph and change through the process. But it's hard. I won't downplay that at all. I mean, you're up at 2 a.m. Googling, should I stay in the house? If I don't stay in the house, am I giving up my rights to the
Yeah.
house? And the more you Google, as you know, especially with health issues, the more you get confused in the process. So it was
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Well, and then I have to ask you, I can't remember. I think most people think about divorcing for a few years. Were you in that? Because you were married 28 years, right?
Yeah, we were together 28 years. We
Okay.
were married. Oh gosh, how long were we married? 17 years. So
Okay.
yeah, we were together a while before we married. And
Gotcha.
yes, I would say we were probably 7, 8 years past our prime of when we probably should have gotten divorced. But we were both determined to make it work. And we both tried to fight through something that it ultimately, wasn't meant to be, which was
Yeah.
hard because, we're both religious people. So I didn't believe in divorce. I thought you marry and you marry for the rest of your life. So that was a hard aspect for both of us.
I think that's a really hard aspect for a lot of my listeners because, and I too, I'm a strong Christian and always wrestled with how can I be helping people divorce when I believe in marriage, but it's the thing of there are some reasons where you
Yep.
need to. So how did you finally come to peace with that?
I think it was honestly, a lot of therapy, a lot of self-care. My kids would laugh because they'd come home from school and I'd be on another call of, I went through divorce care. I went through group therapy, individual therapy, and just spending time working on myself and understanding that self-care. You think, especially as a working mom, right? We think that we should be able to do it all, take care of our kids, take care of the house, take care of, be successful at work. And we never stopped and put ourselves first. And I
Mhm.
kind of had that martyr mentality as I was going through the divorce process. It's like, no, it is important to go take a bath or go for a walk or
Yeah.
go to the gym or whatever it is you need to take time for yourself. And it's not that you're taking time away from your kids when you do that. It's that you are being better for them. And I guess I didn't really, before divorce, grasp that very well.
I love that you learned that because I think a lot of people miss that. So what a blessing that you were able to do that because like you said, I mean, maybe it's taken a little time away from your kids, but it's making it so that you're better when you're with them. And it's radical self-care. When you are going through something hard, sometimes you just have to sit and be sad, right?
Yeah.
But I only give myself so long for that. And then you gotta make a decision you can sit there and be sad or you can take care of yourself and move forward. And it's hard, like you said.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you said that too, because I don't think everybody understands how hard it is to get divorced. And by golly, if you're getting married, be really darn sure because I feel blessed and like I lucked out because, but we did. It's interesting. We did go through marriage classes before we got married. And the priest had told us this is one thing that there were a couple of things that really stuck, but he said couples that pray together on a daily basis have a 2% divorce rate.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
And I think
That's
I think that's similar. So hold on to that. Pray to get, start out on that foot. That's one thing I would say. So you were doing your self-care just like I did my self-care when I was going through my hard thing. And it
Mhm.
still was hard,
Yeah.
but it made it better and it made you healthy.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't, and then when I talk about self-care, I'm like, eat well, exercise. That's my self-care. It's not just like going to get your hair done. It's taking care, loving myself enough. My gosh, Michelle, before I had this stage one thing, I don't even think I ever took time to put lotion on my body. And then they're like, you might get dry skin from the. So then I started, I'm like, they never even took, I was in such a rush. I couldn't even
Yeah.
put lotion on. As women, we're nuts that way.
Yep.
Give yourself a break. And I'm talking about if you're home with your kiddos and you're not going through a divorce, take care of yourself. This applies
Exactly.
to anything. And especially, you figure it out when you go through something hard, I think. But
Mhm.
try to do it before you go through something hard because think of how much more joyful you could be.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you did those things. I have to ask you, so you're like a working woman, you're smart. Did you have a big career so that you were maybe not as afraid of the financial aspect of divorce?
Yep. So I've been a financial advisor since 1998, and I actually own my own financial planning firm, which I still do. So I was busy. I was a working mom. I worked a lot of hours, and that ultimately also plays a part in the demise of a marriage when you don't develop that time together and going on dates with each other. I think it's
Right.
important and really trying and giving it 100% before you make those decisions, I think is important. And any couple that I meet with or talk to, I want to make sure, have you done everything? Do you need a divorce coach? Do you need a marriage and family therapist to maybe help you consider your options and figure out what's best for you and your family?
Yeah, I like that. And I do want to add that that is one of the services that I have, which I don't really talk about a lot unless you sign up for a consult with me and people kind of roll their eyes because I'm like, are you sure you want to get divorced?
Yeah.
Because I do, and I'm actually creating a course for this for marital mediation. The first piece of it is going to be how to communicate. And then the second piece is going to be mindset. What I'm hoping is it's kind of the last straw if people want to try, if they're willing to work on that piece. Once you've done everything, I
Right.
think you can have a little more peace because you were getting therapy, you were doing all the things, and
Yep.
your marriage couldn't work. It
Yep.
it couldn't, and we don't need to talk about why it couldn't work. It just,
Yeah.
you were right with God. You were right what you knew what you needed to do. And so then you had to move forward. And so were you able to keep doing the self-care the whole way through? Because you were in court. It was scary.
Yeah. Yeah. It was hard, but it had to be done. I mean, I don't think I would have survived if I hadn't because you're just going through all the things and you're going through divorce fog where you just don't know what you're doing and you're afraid to make decisions and you don't know what you don't know. So you have to be doing those things in order to take care of yourself.
Yeah, and get that and get your mindset right. And I would just say I have in the show notes, I'm gonna put a little link to a podcast because I do think getting control of that mindset because I am someone who can tend to spin out.
Right. Yep.
And which my listeners know, there are times in my life where I've been on anxiety meds and I am now, and I'm hoping to go off them after this has been a year. But my head does that, and even with the coaching and the working through the mindset, so that's where it's good to have that. We talk about a team in divorce, but even just your doctor, just to let them know that this is a bit of a struggle, and it doesn't mean it has to be forever. And there are things you can do, but if you can work on that mindset piece so that you don't have to suffer as much. I think that's the thing. I think what I have learned is how to suffer less. I used
Yes.
to worry and worry and worry and worry and spin out and spin out. And now I go, I don't need to. I have a whole podcast on that. So people can listen. I don't need to go into all the detail, but I think that that is really helpful too. So tell me, Michelle, how long has it been now since
Since
you've
I've
been
been
divorced?
divorced, it's going on 3 years now.
So it took
Yeah.
3 years to divorce. Now,
It's the
3.
power of 3. Yeah.
And that's why, yes, she does talk about the power of 3 friends if you go to Doing Divorce Different. She's just a great resource for people who are going through this. And we'll have your contact information in the show notes. So if people want, if they need your help, I think it's really nice to go to someone who's been through it. And I know on Doing Divorce Different, I talk about how when we go through something hard, it's an opportunity, it's a gift. And I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this. So if I'm putting you on the spot, you just tell me. But
Okay.
can you tell me if you can think of gifts that have come from this? Well,
I
can
would
I? Oh, go
no,
ahead. No, you go.
gifts that have come from this. I would say appreciating life. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to reach out when you need help. It's okay to take care of yourself, and spending time with your kids and appreciating them and learning what your new norm is, right? Because in my head, I think a lot of it was I imagined what it was supposed to be like. And then in my head, it was supposed to be this way and it's not going to be that way. So now what does the new way look like? And is it better? And, you don't know that going in, but it's so much better on the other side. And I tell people that constantly as they're going through mediation, that I know it's hard. And sometimes you have to get stuck in the muck for a while and work it out, but you will get there. And it doesn't feel like it, but you will be better and as long as you take time for yourself and you do what's important and do what's
Okay.
right.
Tell me what's better. Is it like your stress level? Is it, I know even some people who are so terrified to be in charge of their own finances find how wonderful it is to be able to make the decisions themselves. But tell me, how is it better for you, Michelle?
So I would say to your point, that's very empowering, right? And
Mhm.
realizing that you can do those things yourselves. Um, I don't know. That's hard for me to answer because I feel like I was a very strong, independent woman before the divorce. So continuing to be that strong and independent woman and role model for my kids. And I just feel the strong pull of God in the universe to do things a better way and leave a mark on society and
Mm.
help people. And it sounds cheesy and corny, I know,
Yeah.
but it's really and things have just fallen into place, like meeting you. And that just was like a random act of God of like, okay, how I met this wonderful woman. And I remember looking at your website and going, "Oh, wow, she seems like someone I aspired to be like." And I never told you that.
Oh,
But, just those random things that just fall into place because you're doing the right thing, because you're taking care of yourself, I think are crucial.
yeah. I love that. You're so sweet. And I just think what I love is that, yes, there's a lot of strong, independent women who go through something hard and become a victim. And what I
Yeah.
love, Michelle, is I've watched you. You went through those hard circumstances and you remained that strong. It didn't get you down. And I think another really, I mean, it's so wonderful because now you're out there helping people, but you also have shown your children how strong you are and how important that is. Do you have a daughter and a son? Am I right?
Yep. But
So, I mean, think about for your daughter to see that, for your son to know that for his future, for them to be able to really assess when they get married. And it sounds like with your ex-spouse, things are going fine and that
yep.
now your kids get to see that. And so you can
Yep.
just continue to show the world through what you've been through. And that's why I just love you. So I'm so thankful.
And the joys of an extended family. Like you don't think that going in, but my ex is remarried and having a step parent, what that's like for my kids, I think. So, what the new norm of holidays that are potentially coming up or already expired, depending on when we do
Yeah.
it, and what a bonus parent looks like, what a extended family looks like. So, I think
Mhm.
those can be things to embrace and that are beneficial in the long run too.
So I love that you say that because step parenting is like one of the hardest things, which I mean, that's for another episode. But look at
Yeah,
you. putting that positive spin just like you do. So that's why that's why I'm drawn to you and my people love to work with you. So Michelle, thank you so much for taking the time to be on Saddle Up Live and letting my audience get to know you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Lisa.
All right, you take good care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another empowering episode of Saddle Up Live. As we conclude this exhilarating journey together, don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts, and become a valued member of our vibrant community. Because, as always, every woman deserves to thrive, flourish, and live her best life. Until the next time, saddle up and keep conquering those trails.